So welcome in officially to the fourth practice in this 7-practice series that's exploring the chakras. As you can see, I have 2 blocks today. They're not required, but they may be helpful in particular for the very first shape that we're going to do. So if you need to get up and gather those, go ahead and do that now. If you don't have 2 blocks, you may just grab a blanket and roll it long ways, like a long Tootsie Roll that you can use. And then once you have those supportive structures, we're going to start in a supported fish pose for our kind of opening grounding talk. So whether you have a rolled up blanket or a couple of blocks, you're going to sit your pelvis in the center of your mat and either lie back with that blanket running along the length of your spine, or have this first block at the medium height right underneath your scapula around the bra line. And then the second block at the high height supporting the back of the head or the neck. And then just let the legs extend forward and the arms elongate alongside you. So the focus for this fourth practice in the series is on the heart chakra, or the Anahata Chakra. So as you settle into this opening shape, we want to feel and experience of the heart being lifted, of it being supported from the back of the heart, and this sense of openness and expansion along the front of the heart. And we'll be here for a couple of minutes, so just settle in. Invite your ears to open, really receiving information through the sensory doorways of the ears. The fourth of the 7 main chakras is the heart, or the Anahata Chakra. And the Anahata Chakra is located in the very center of the chest. It's our access to love, to compassion, to inner peace. It's associated with the element of air, thinking of how air moves, how it flows, how it can go anywhere and everywhere. It's fluid, changing. The color green. And it's also associated with this sense of emotional balance. Our ability to hold 10,000 joys and 10,000 sorrows in the heart. The pleasant, the unpleasant, the comfortable, the uncomfortable, the happy, the sad. And so in this yoga practice, we're going to really seek to balance and open the heart chakra with postures that focus on the heart, the lungs, and the circulatory system. As you settle here for about 5 to 7 more breaths, I want you to also recognize that the heart chakra is the midpoint between the lower sensory chakras that we've been working with and the higher spiritual chakras that are yet to come in this series. And so the heart chakra pulls your instinctual knowing from the lower chakras. And then it also pulls your intuitive awareness down from the higher chakras so that you can be both spirit and animal at the same time. Take 3 more breaths here, feeling that instinctual knowledge from your lower body and chakras, that intuitive awareness from your upper chakras coming together at this midpoint of the heart center. And then we'll start to transition to the next shape, which is going to be happy baby pose. So if you're on the blocks, very gently roll to your favorite side, coming off of the blocks. You can just set them aside for now. Return to your spine and make your way into a happy baby shape, clasping hold of either the outer feet or the ankles. letting the tops of the thighs melt down towards the mat. And you're really choosing for yourself if you want this to be more of a rocking sensation or more of a still sensation. We'll be here for just 2 more full breaths, about 10 seconds or so. Feeling the back of the heart being supported by the mat. And then we're going to rock and roll up into all fours position. So releasing the feet, you could take a couple of rock and rolls if that feels nice, but we'll all meet in that all fours position. And then find your blocks once more and bring them underneath the palms of your hands. We're going to take a couple of cat and cows. I meant to clarify the blocks, place them on the medium height here. So the hands, I kind of have my thumb and my pinky finger falling off either edge, and start to roll through some cat and cows. And for me, when I have my hands elevated on the blocks here, I just naturally feel a little bit more possibility in the heart space in my cat and cows. As I drop into my cow, I really feel like my chest and heart can drop. And as I roll up into my cat, there's this feeling of expansion right in between my shoulder blades. So let yourself just roll back and forth, maybe 4 or 5 more times through that slightly elevated cat and cow. Again, with a little bit more of a heightened awareness on that heart chakra. And then we're going to take this into puppy pose on the blocks. So as you find a neutral spine, take your elbows, place them right in the center of your block. The back of my biceps kind of melts, or back of my triceps rather, melts onto the block. I'm going to bring a prayer mudra into my hands, sealing my palms together, and then inviting my heart and my head down towards the floor. For me, my head is able to actually come all the way to the mat. And then you could either keep the palms together with the fingertips facing up towards the ceiling, or you could take like a reverse prayer here, letting your thumbs come to rest in between your shoulder blades. So it's almost like your thumbprint is just gently pressing into the back of the heart chakra, letting the melting action of this puppy or heart melting pose really drop into the body. And we'll take 3 more breaths here in Anahata, which is actually named for the heart chakra, heart melting pose. 1 more breath right here, connecting with that center of the Anahata heart chakra. And then as you breathe in, let the heart pull away from the mat, lifting out of that puppy or heart melting pose, palms down, moving the blocks out of the way. Shift back to a brief child's pose for just a couple of breaths. Breathing in that affirmation that I am worthy of love. And breathing out that love is everywhere I am. Breathing in, I am worthy of love. And breathing out, love is everywhere I am. Walking the hands towards the knees, lifting your heart center. Shift forward, tuck your toes, all 10 of them, even your little pinky toes. Sit back into a nice little toe stretch here. Bring your hands behind you, interlace the fingers, taking a chest expansion posture as we drop the knuckles down, lift the heart, and extend your pointer finger down towards the floor. Let your thumbs pull away from the back body as you lift your arms back and away from your spine. Lift the chest. Let the head brace back. 2 more breaths in this toe stretch with heart and chest expansion. 1 more full inhale. Keep this mudra with the arms as you tuck your chin to your chest. Roll down through the spine, top of the head to the mat. Roll up into your rabbit pose, sasangasana, to the crown of the head, arms up and over. Breathing 3. Breathing 2. 1 more in-breath. Exhale, releasing back into your child's pose. Stretch the arms forward. Just one more breath in Balasana, child's pose. That concludes our warm-up as we start to come into our sun salutation portion of the practice, shifting forward, tucking the toes, and making your way up and back to your first downward facing dog. Being willing to be happy now. Really dropping into the doorway to contentment, which is through the heart chakra. So being willing to be happy with our practice right now, being happy with the circumstances of our life as they are. Taking one more breath right here. And then as you inhale, shift your gaze forward to the front of your mat, walking or stepping your feet towards the back of your wrists. Take an in-breath, lifting up halfway. Exhale, folding down and in. Sweeping the arms out and up. We'll begin with 3 Surya Namaskaram A's, hands to heart center. As you breathe in, arms sweep out and up. As you breathe out, spine folds over the legs. As you breathe in, half lift, the heart shines forward as your thighs press back. Plant your palms, make your way to a plank pose. Breathing in, you are worthy of love. Breathing out through chaturanga all the way to the mat. Love is everywhere you go. Lifting up to your first cobra pose. We're going to take a revolved cobra pose here. So connect with that heart space. I want you to let your right shoulder melt back. Left shoulder pulls forward and twist to the right, looking back and over towards your right foot. Then pass through center, go the other direction. Left shoulder melts back, right shoulder forward, peeking back towards that left foot. Coming back to center, release that Bhujangasana, pressing up and back, either through all fours or reverse chaturanga and up to downward facing dog. This recognition that love is here in the present moment. The doorway to accessing it through that heart chakra. Inhale, look to the front of the mat. Exhale, travel there in your own way. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Remembering this heart chakra is that midpoint. Sweep the arms out and up between those lower sensory chakras, hands to heart center, and those higher, more spiritual chakras. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Exhale, folding forward. So you're moving from this central place in the body. Inhale, half lift, heart forward, thighs press back. Plant the palms, make your way to your plank. Breathing in the plank. Pass through a chaturanga all the way to the mat. We're doing that same twisted cobra pose. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, twist to the right. Let the right shoulder move back. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, twist it to the left. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, release. Tuck the toes either through all fours or reverse chaturanga. Back to down dog. Take a full breath in. A full breath out. Inhale to the tips of the toes. Exhale, traveling to the front of your space. Inhale, half lift. Exhaling, fold. Rooting down through those lower chakras as you rise up through those higher chakras. Hands into heart center, right in front of that Anahata Chakra. One more A, sweeping arms forward and up. Folding over the legs. Inhale, half lift, heart forward, thighs back. Plant the palms, find your plank. Breathing in. You're worthy of love. Exhale, love is right here. It's everywhere you go. Inhale to the cobra. Exhale, twisting to the right. Inhale through center. Twisting to the left. Inhale, center. Release. Tuck the toes, either all fours or reverse chaturanga. Downward facing dog. Breathing in, heart melting, down and back, breathing out. Inhale, looking forward. Exhale, traveling. Inhale, half lift. Exhaling to fold. Sweeping those arms out and up. Hands to heart center. 2 lunge salutations. Release the arms, stand tall, take your breath in. Exhale, hands to heart center. This is position 1. Position 2, forward, up, and back. Position 3, you fold. Lead with your left, step back, drop the left knee. Lunge, reaching the arms up. Position 5, we're actually going to step back and prepare for camel pose. Right knee next to left knee. Lots of options with the hands. You could keep them on the waist. You could come to the backs of the thighs. You could use your blocks. Always could tuck the toes, making your way into your camel pose as you breathe for 3 full breaths. 2 more full breaths. 1 more breath in. Breathing out, knees, chest, and chin. Ashtangasana. So toes are tucked, knees are down, hands, chest, chin. Slide forward, Sphinx pose. Forearms come forward. Press the forearms down. Pull the heart forward. Feel that heart radiating forward and yet softening and melting in the back of the body. Soften the back of the heart. So it's that idea of, what's the phrase? I'm going to get this wrong. I'm going to say it now. It's like soft front, hard back. Is that right? Tell me later. If I got it wrong, let me know. 1 more inhale. Exhale, slide the palms back. Transitioning either through all fours or reverse chaturanga. Downward facing dog. Take your clarifying breath between sides, breathing in and breathing out. Now looking to the front of your mat, it's the left foot that's going to travel forward. Right knee is going to melt down. This is your position 9. Arms can come up if you choose. Exhale, hands going to melt down. Right foot comes forward to meet the left. We're choosing love over the fear. Reaching the arms forward, up, and back. Exhale, hands to heart center. 1 more lunge salutation. Release the arms, stand tall. Exhale, gather the love as you bring the hands to heart center. Take that love, move it forward, up, and back. Heart chakra is all about the receiving and then the giving, folding over the legs. Inhale, lifting up halfway. Step your right foot back, drop the right knee down. Think of expressing the love like you're radiating it out on the lunge pose. Now receive it. It's like you're gathering it up as you step it back. Left knee next to right knee. Prepare for your camel pose. Find your hand position. Bring in your blocks if you need them. Get in your camel. We've got 3 full breaths in and out. And in you receive and out you give. 1 more receive. Out you give, knees, chest, chin, Ashtangasana. Sliding forward, forearms forward, Sphinx pose. The heart is this magnetic source. So it's a source of love, a source of happiness, a source of compassion and kindness. You have that magnetic source inside of you. Slide the palms back, reversing through all fours or reverse chaturanga. Downward facing dog. Breathing in, I am worthy of love. And breathing out, that love is everywhere I go. Looking to the front of your mat space, right foot forward, left knee down. Inhale, express the love. Exhale, hands down. Step that left foot forward, fold in. Reaching those arms forward, up, and back. Hands to heart center. Take a moment, release your arms, close your eyes, drop into a little micro meditation here. Remembering that the heart chakra is pulling your intuitive awareness down from the higher, more spiritual chakras. It's pulling up this instinctual wisdom, this intuitive knowing from those lower, more embodied chakras. And it's gathering that intuitive awareness, that instinctive bodily knowing right there in your heart. And so you're operating from this heart place that is both spirit and body at the same time. Take one more breath with that. We're going to move into our standing flow, blinking open your eyes. We're going to start with a standing balancing pose of Natarajasana King Dancer. I want you to shift your weight onto your right foot, start to kick your left foot back, clasp hold of the top of the foot as you start to find your balance. Reach the right arm up towards the ceiling, get stable in your drishti, your gaze, and then start to push your left foot into your hand and start to make your way into your King Dancer pose. Think of the heart as the leader of this pose here. Radiating open, softening at the back, opening at the front. One more in-breath. Step back to your crescent lunge and find a steeple mudra. So you're in a high lunge, interlace your fingers, pointer finger reaching up to the sky. Your arms are kind of squeezing near your ears. And then I'm lengthening through my lats and my outer side body. My armpits are really open here as I lift up. And then if you want to back bend, you lift up and then lean back. Again, back of the heart is softening. Front of the heart is opening and radiating. 2 breaths. One more breath. Coming into 3-legged dog, release the hands down to the mat. Right leg is going to fly up, 3-legged dog. Let your left heel release to the mat. Really root down and push into the hands. Right foot reaching for the sky. Bend your right knee, stack your right hip over your left. Now I want you to see if you can take 2 full breaths to flip your dog for Chamatkarasana. So I'm going to start reaching my right foot over towards the left. I'm actually going to pop up onto my right fingertips until eventually they kind of hover on the mat. And then I'm going to keep pivoting, and then slowly my right foot finds the mat and I lift my heart towards the sky. Take a full breath in. Now you're going to sit down and face the back of your mat, hips down, right knee is facing up, revolved spinal twist, right hand behind you, left hand hugs your right knee, Ardha Matsyendrasana, nice spinal twist. Take 3 breaths here. As you breathe in, I want you to lift up through your spine. As you breathe out, soften the heart, turn it to the right. Do that 2 more times. Have you forgotten your left leg, by the way? Flex your left foot. Exhale, twist. 1 more time. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Beautiful. Look to the front of your mat. Turn your body to face the back of your mat. Straighten your right leg next to your left. Upward plank. So I want you to bring your big toes together. Hands behind you, fingertips facing forward. I want you to kind of scooch your heels towards your body just a tiny bit. Then start to push down through the hands. Think of bringing your big toe mounds down as you lift your pelvis up for 3. For 2, back of the heart soft, front of the heart open. 1 more breath in. Exhale, lower the hips. Beautiful. Bend your left knee. Sweep open to face the long edge of your mat in a supportive side plank. So the right arm is kind of reaching overhead. Left knee is down on the mat. Beautiful. 1 more breath right here. You're going to windmill up and open to gate pose. Inhale, lifting up. Right hand comes to that extended right leg. Fold to the right. Breath in and breath out. Windmilling to the front of your mat, plant the hands, take your left leg, extend it up, 3-legged dog. So now you're in the 3-legged dog on the other side. We started the sequence with the right leg up. We're ending it with the left leg up. Look to the front of your mat, step your left foot forward. Windmill open to warrior two, but then immediately take that to reverse warrior by lifting your heart and leaning back. And sometimes in a revolved or a reverse warrior, we are really facing the long edge of the mat, but I want you to think of your heart kind of facing towards that front right corner of your mat. It's a little more diagonal. Really soften the back of the heart, open the front. Last breath in. You're going to take this to Vinyasa. Windmill the arms down, flow it out. Whatever Vinyasa is feeling most supportive to you. You know your options. Could be a really gentle back bend here. You could take a child's pose or a down dog. We're there for 3 breaths before we do the second side. 2, 1. If you selected a child's pose, you have the invitation now to return with us to down dog. Everybody lifting your head, looking to the front of your mat space, traveling to the front of your space. Take a half lift, fold in, rising up to your mountain pose. And then shift the weight to the left foot. We're already starting the second side of the sequence, setting up for Natarajasana. Right knee bends, finding your bind. Left arm reaches towards the sky, and then starting to kick the foot into the hand. This is about how this pose feels as much as how it looks. It should feel like the back of the heart is softening. The front of the heart is like peeling open, like it's being kind of flipped inside out. Last breath in. You're going to step back to that beautiful high lunge and then make your steeple mudra, interlacing the hands the funky way. Flip the finger, kind of interlacing. Pointer finger up. And then I lengthen up out of my side body. Lats get long. And maybe I fold back. 3, 2. Every breath I'm thinking up and open. Last in breath. Taking this to your 3-legged dog. Hands down. Left leg's gonna fly high. Take a moment to just feel the 3-legged dog. Let the right heel melt. Really feel that connection, not just to your yoga mat, but to the earth underneath it through your hands. And then reassert that lifting of the left leg. Now bend the knee, stack the left hip over the right, and take 2 full cycles of breath to control this transition. Pivoting, pivoting, pivoting. Landing. Chamatkarasana, open, open, open. Heart, let the love in. And then sit all the way down. Windmill that left arm behind you, right arm around that left knee, and find your twist for 3 breaths. That's it. Breathing in, you get tall, and breathing out, you twist. And I'm talking to myself as much as you here. I totally forgot my right leg, so remember to flex it. You still have a right leg. It deserves your energy too. 1 more breath right here. Love is everywhere you go, which means it must be right here. Excellent. Upward plank, looking forward, extend your left leg. Fingertips facing forward as you bring your hands behind you. Squinch in the heels. In breath. Out breath, push down and lift. 3, 2. 1 more breath in. Breath out, release. Bend that right knee. Find your supported side plank. Right knee's underneath you. Left arm reaches up and over. Then windmill it up and open. Padikasana gate pose. Left hand to left leg. Right arm is sweeping overhead. 3-legged dog. Windmill the hands to the front of the mat. Tuck your left toes. Reach your right leg up towards the sky. Exhale, step it through. Briefly windmill open to warrior 2, but then keep it moving back as you exalt that warrior. So that heart is facing towards the front left corner of your mat. And then it's pulling back. Back of the heart is just soften, soften, soften. Melt, melt, melt. Front of the heart is just like a sunbeam radiating open. One more breath. Vinyasa, flow it out. You are a magnetic source of love, of happiness, of compassion, of kindness. Downward facing dog, 3 breaths. We are going to do that sequence one more time on each side, just one movement to breath. I want you to feel like you're moving from a source of love, okay? So if that means you need to skip a pose, if that means you need to go faster or slower, you're moving from your inner magnetic source of love, of intuitive knowing, of both body and spirit. Inhale, look to the front of the mat. Exhale, walk, step, or hop your feet. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold in. Now root down through those instinctual, embodied lower chakras. Rise up to those intuitively aware higher chakras. And then hands to heart center. Gather all that intuition into your heart center and start your flow. Shift the weight to the right foot. Anahata Rajasana, hold the left. Fold forward, breath in. Breath out. Step back, find your high lunge. Steeple mudra, inhale, get tall. Exhale, lean back. 3-legged dog, hands down, right leg flies. Flipping your dog, right knee bends, stack the hips, slow controlled transition, right foot down, heart opens. Sit the hips down, revolve around, left hand to right knee, twist it out, facing the front of your mat. Upward facing plank, extend the right leg, hands behind you. Pull the heels in a few inches. Ground down, lift up, upward plank. Lower the hips, pull that left knee underneath you. Supported side plank facing the other long edge of your mat. Windmill up and open, Padikasana. Windmill to the front of the mat. Left leg high, 3-legged. Step it forward and through. Warrior 2 into exalted. Breath in, flow it out. You are a magnetic source of love, of happiness, of compassion, of kindness. Feel it, move from it. Breath in. Choosing love over fear with every breath. Look to the front of the mat. Walk, step, or hop. Half lift. You're worthy of love. Fold. Love is everywhere you go, so rise up into it. Hands gather at the heart center. Last side of the flow, standing on the left foot, bending the right knee. Catching the foot as you find that Anahata Rajasana. Breath in. Step it back, high lunge, steeple mudra. Inhale, lengthen through the side body. Exhale, soften into the back bend. 3-legged dog, hands down, left leg high. And then slow, controlled, flipping into Chamatkarasana. Open into the inhale. Exhale, sit down, twist around. Right arm to left knee. Breath in. Setting up for upward plank, extend the left leg, hands behind you, pull the heels a little bit in tighter, and then press down to lift up. Lowering down, right knee underneath you, supported side plank, facing that other long edge of the mat. Windmill it open, Padikasana, gate. Windmill to the front of the mat. Right leg flies, 3-legged. Right foot forward. Warrior 2, continuing into that exalted reverse warrior. Last vinyasa. moving from that magnetic source of love, happiness, compassion, and kindness. Look to the center of your mat, jumping through to seated, coming all the way onto your back as you set up for bridge pose. I am going to do a variation for my back bends today. If you have a block, I would highly suggest giving it a whirl, where I place my blocks where my feet are gonna go, and I'm gonna put my feet on the blocks. So my feet are gonna be elevated, okay? If you don't have blocks, no need, don't worry, no big deal. When you get onto your back, just take a moment, release the arms alongside you, maybe let the inner knees come together for a couple breaths, settling in. You may be kind of feeling that sensation of the front of the heart kind of beating forward into the chest. You want to let the back of the heart settle and kind of puddle into your mat. We're going to move into a couple of back bending shapes, beginning with a bridge pose, Setu Bandha Sarvangasana. So I have my feet on the blocks, bringing my hands either palms down alongside the mat or gripping the outer edges of the mat. Take a full in-breath, and then as you breathe out, start to push down into the feet, rolling up into your bridge. If you'd like to interlace the fingers, you may do so, rolling the shoulders onto the back, making more of an exaggerated chest lift. Think of the heart lifting up towards the sky or ceiling. 2. Think knees forward, heart up. If you have the fingers interlaced, gently release them, untuck the shoulders, and slowly roll back down to the mat. Give yourself a couple breaths to pause. Now we're gonna do a second back bend. You are more than welcome to repeat that bridge with or without the shoulder chest expansion. If you'd like to come with me, I'm gonna be cueing full wheel pose, Dhanurasana. If you're going to be doing Dhanurasana, reach the arms up towards the sky, bend the elbows, place the palms alongside your ears with your fingertips facing your shoulders. Make sure you have your feet situated on either the blocks or your mat. Take a full breath in, and then wherever you are, either lifting to bridge or wheel as you press up. Take a moment. I want you to think of pulling shins back as you push your heart forward. Shins back, heart forward. 3, 2. Last in breath. Slowly melting down. When you arrive on the mat, take your feet off of the blocks if they were there. You can just push the blocks to the side, feet the width of the mat, resting pose or constructive rest, inner knees together. Hands could be on low belly or alongside you. Couple breaths there. Loving yourself unconditionally. Being open, willing to be happy now with things as they are. Coming into reclined cow face pose, separating the inner knees, extending your legs up towards the ceiling, and then cross your right thigh over your left and bend your knees. So for some people, this pose is inaccessible. I start to cue it and you're like, my body doesn't do that. Fine, do reclined pigeon pose. So if what I'm about to say doesn't work, just cross your right ankle over your left knee and then interlace the hands. If you can comfortably cross the right thigh over the left, great. Now flex your feet and then reach up and see if you can find the outer edges of both of your feet. It's kind of like a Texas Longhorn shape. As you start to pull the shins up and then down towards the floor. Yes, so you're getting this deep outer hip stretch. Beautiful. It kind of looks like a funky capital T or a longhorn. Again, if this is not an accessible shape, you're doing a reclined pigeon. One more full breath here, and Supta Gomukhasana. And then we're just going to take about a 30-second double waterfall in between sides. So as you release your feet, everybody unraveling, extend the legs towards the ceiling, reach the arms to the ceiling, and then intentionally kind of soften the joints. So you soften the knees, you soften the elbows, the wrists, all the knuckles of the hands and the toes, the ankles. And you're just letting gravity do all this beautiful work of kind of draining the lymph. So all the extremities, draining the lymph. This is giving the heart a beautiful rest. It's not having to work nearly as hard to pump. And then Supta Gomukhasana, that reclined cow face on the second side. You're going to cross left thigh over right. And then bending the knees, flexing the feet, reaching up, holding onto outer feet. Again, if this is not a shape that your body makes, then you have left ankle over right knee in reclined pigeon. And as you breathe here, we're letting the back of the heart settle, which is very soothing. It's very like down regulating. A lot of the heart opening poses are very invigorating, very stimulating, but the kind of counter or the balancing side to that is this feeling of support that comes when we hold the back of the heart. Take one more breath. And then coming into our final resting pose of Savasana, unraveling the legs and the arms. And I'd like to offer, there's always traditional Savasana available with legs and arms extended on your spine. But sometimes it can be very grounding for the heart to lie prone or belly down. So if that doesn't cause you any discomfort, you may experiment with the Savasana where you're lying on your belly. Maybe you make a pillow with your hands and you rest your forehead there. Maybe you rest a favorite cheek on the mat, but whatever you're choosing, let it be a position where you feel really supported. The heart chakra pulling that intuitive awareness down from up above, pulling instinctual knowledge up from down below, so that you can be both a spirit and an animal at the same time. Breathing in, I am worthy of love. And breathing out, love is everywhere I go. Breathing in, I am worthy of love. Breathing out, I choose love over fear. Breathing in, I am worthy of love. And breathing out, I am working on loving myself unconditionally. I am worthy of love. I am working on loving myself unconditionally. As we conclude this practice, I invite you to forgive yourself for any imperfections. That's just a sign of your humanity. From that place of compassionate forgiveness, start to reawaken your body, wiggling the fingers and the toes. Maybe reaching the arms overhead for a nice long full body stretch, and then in any way that feels natural and intuitive to you, make your way back up into a comfortable seat. When you arrive in your comfortable seat, you can place the palms of the hands together. And we ask that the entire universe be filled with peace and joy, love and light, which sounds like these 4 words in Sanskrit: Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Victory to all of our practices, whatever they look like.